Being born without legs hasn't stopped me from doing the things that I want to do.
People just, they'd make fun of me because I didn't have legs.
The best way to deal with haters is to use the hate to lift yourself up. Your haters are your biggest fans, so use that to your advantage. My name is Zion Clark. I was born with a rare condition that caused me not to have legs. I was born with caudal regression syndrome. It is a very rare disease. 1 out of every 100,000 kids are born with it each year. Caudal regression syndrome is a rare disease that can cause a number of abnormalities in a baby. Like, it can be you have a portion of your spine missing, or in my case, I was born without legs. I lived most of my life through foster care up until about 16.
He came into my life when the caseworkers had reached out to me and said that they needed a placement for a young fellow. They bring Zion to my home some weeks later. Then it came to a point to where I just knew he was mine, and I just was so in love with him. And I approached him one day on the couch and I said, Zion, I know that I'm not your biological mother. And I asked him if I could get to be his mom. He said, yes, I want you to be my mom. I was like, well, let's do this. Let's do it.
The relationship with my mom is fantastic. She is the greatest woman I know, and she wants what's best for me. She wants what's best for me and my sisters. She never once was gonna give up on me.
I mean, I was always a troubled kid during school, so I mean, any little thing would make me mad. I just got in trouble for punching lockers or just back talking to teachers, Well, people just, they'd make fun of me because I didn't have legs, so they think I couldn't do something, or they'd be talking to me saying I wouldn't do something, and in turn I'd do it and get in trouble. But then after a while, I just got tired of it, so I'd stop reacting and I'd just let them talk, and eventually they started leaving me alone. School wasn't the greatest time for me, but by the time I was a senior, I was able to turn it around and get to college and start doing everything I wanted to do.
I started wrestling in 2nd grade. I could just go wrestle for a couple more hours, waste all my energy, and go home and just go to sleep. When I was really little, the first few matches, I didn't know what to do, and neither did my opponent. Some kids were scared to wrestle me. I was scared to wrestle them. I didn't know what I was doing. I adapted my wrestling by a lot of trial and error. I spent years figuring out what would work, what didn't work, and there's a lot of things that don't work, but the things that do work, drill them over and over and over again until they're completely flawless, until somebody might know I'm doing it, but I'm going to do it anyways, whether they want me to or not. I am feeling great about a match. I train about twice a day, every single day, about 6 days a week. And it's an everyday thing, it's a grind, it's a lifestyle.
Zion was a very special athlete because he had perseverance, and his determination was second to none. It was very easy for me to coach him with qualities like that. Very good takedown. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Let's get the breakdown. He has no legs, so he doesn't have any power for the bottom half of his body, which puts him at a grave disadvantage for wrestling. I noticed that because of his willingness to do the things that he needs to do to win, that I knew that we could come up with something to make him successful.
How proud am I, Zion? Give me a Z. Z, you got your Z, you got your Z. I am proud. I'm his #1 cheerleader. I told you I am the executive director of his fan club. I am very proud of him. How at first he was just so angry, but how he learned is each time to route that anger and to make it into something positive.
Being born without legs hasn't stopped me from doing the things that I want to do. The best way to deal with haters is to use the hate to lift yourself up. Your haters are your biggest fans, so use that to your advantage. My dreams and ambitions, one day to make the Olympic team, be one of the best freestyle wrestlers in the world. I want to be able to go back home, tell my mom, like, Mom, #1, there's nobody better. I'm going to try to keep getting better from there. I just want to be the best. The biggest lesson I've had to learn is that things will not always go your way, but you have to work with what you got. And once you're able to work with what you have, multiple doors will start to open.
There's times where I like forget that there's anything different about her. She just happens to not have arms. I won't lie, it makes me jealous because she's amazing at sports that I can't even do.
My name is Larry Sonic and I am born with no arms.
Did you watch no. She needs a watch, yeah. Yeah, you're doing a good job. And how fucked it was.
I'm musical, sassy, and determined.
We weren't planning on adopting any more kids. They sent us pictures of her holding a bottle between her feet and drinking it and blowing her nose with her foot. And I just fell in love with her. When we first brought her home, we really didn't know what to expect. She was falling a lot because she didn't have good balance. She would land right smack on her forehead. My original thought was, okay, I've got to teach this kid how to fall. So I took her to gymnastics, and that was her very first sport. And she did that for a while, just working on balance coordination. And from there, we went to dance and soccer and eventually karate.
I usually get treated the same except for when I'm at places in public. Some people yell what's wrong with her, but I usually ignore them.
I'll notice like people are staring or pointing. We've even had people just like come up and like touch her. It's strange.
If we go to the grocery store, there's inevitably one little kid. They point and say, "Mom, look at that little girl, she doesn't have any arms." She doesn't worry too much about what other people think. She's always really taken everything in her stride.
I don't think I've ever like actually heard her say that she couldn't do something. She can do anything she wants to do.
Sometimes I'll just see her just standing on the counter trying to get something, and I go, "Do you need help?" And she's like, "No, I got it." Seeing her being able to do things that me and Taylor can do.
Or that we can't do.
Yeah, some things that we can't do, you know, eat with her feet, it's really impressive.
I won't lie, it makes me jealous a little bit because she's amazing at sports that I can't even do.
I play 4 sports: karate, dance, baseball, and soccer. I usually put stuff between my cheek and shoulder, so I decided to put the bat between my cheek and shoulder, and I just swung.
We thought, well, she can't throw, and how's she gonna bat? And we figured we'd give it a shot, and we just handed Zoe the bat, and she took it under her chin, and that's how she's batted ever since. Her first baseball game was incredibly inspiring. There were a lot of people in the audience that were teary-eyed watching her play. She was so little and just so amazing.
Give the people a smile.
She's so driven. She's definitely got the personality type to be so good at like everything she does.
She pushes herself and keeps on working at it and like never gives up on herself.
I've been playing soccer for 7 years, and it's perfect for me because I know how to use my hands.
It kind of humbles you to, you know, watch her do things that you sit there and, you know, you don't know how she's going to do it, but she finds a way to do it. So I don't see anything really holding her back. You know, whatever she wants to do, she'll find a way to do it. And just watching her and stuff makes you proud of what she does and who she is.
Not a day goes by where I'm not super proud of her. There's times where I like forget that there's anything different about her.
To the people out there who feel different, just know that you are not alone and people support you, and that you're awesome just the way you are.
They ask them the same question over and over again, and that is, how tall are you?
Well, their first reaction is a little shock that they're seeing somebody this big. Then they start asking questions like, how tall are you? Are you really this tall?
He's sensitive, and people stare, they look, they point.
And then other people, they're like real rude about it, like, holy hell, how tall are you? You're one big dude.
This is Brave Hunter Williams. He's 17 years old and currently stands at an incredible 7'1".
When I was 5 years old, I was like 5'3". They thought I was actually a second grader, so they put me in the second grade class for like an hour. By the time I was 10, I was like just hitting 6'6".
Every day he grew more and more, so that was when I kind of got worried. The doctors were alarmed.
When I was younger, the doctors thought I had giantism and got tested for it because I was growing up at an alarming rate. This is my bed. The base is all custom made. My feet still hang out a little bit.
Worrying about him having something like giantism or anything was really tough. Finally, to get the word that, yeah, you just got a tall kid was really relieving, to say the least.
I had to get this specially made. My mom had to do all the measurements. And then over here, I got size 21 shoes. Here's one smaller than Shaq. My great uncle, he was 7'5", and he made a pine tree look like a sapling, so I think that's where I got most of my height from.
Although it's no longer causing worry among his doctors, Brave's height now strikes fear into his opponents.
The hardest thing playing against Brave is his height. You don't play against 7-footers too often, unless you're in the NBA. Around here, there's 1 in a million.
Sports I like to play are football and basketball. And I think I'm going to try out lacrosse as goalie.
He's a big boy. All he's got to do is just turn around and look at the basket and it just places it in. Doesn't even have to jump.
My height affects my sports in football. It's easier to swat down passes on the line and swim move over anybody. And in basketball, easier to get rebounds and everything. And for lacrosse, with the width of my shoulders and all that, and the height of the goal, it's easy to like block any shot. It's just my body.
He definitely has the figure to be a pro baller, but he's got to put in the work. He's got the work ethic to get him there if he wants to.
Growing up this tall has had its drawbacks.
Growing up abnormally tall was a little bit rough. I'd try and hang out with my friends and they'd have like a swing set or something, and I'd be like the size of a teenager trying to ride a 5-year-old ride. I didn't know my strength back then. My mom would always be like, calm down, just don't hit him too hard.
I remember one year I told him, you're gonna be living outside if you break one more thing. That's when he took the whole door off of the pantry. That's what holds all the snacks. Like, how hungry are you? The doctors say my son's gonna grow until he's 21. Well, he's 7'1" now, and 7'5" is the forecast. And yeah, he is big, he is tall, but he's also very, very intelligent. He's always on the honor roll or the merit roll at the very least. And to tell you the truth, he really doesn't try that hard.
Yes, I would like to become a professional athlete, but first I'd like to go to college and like get all my studies in order first.
I've thought about my son being tall for a long time, you know, and I think there's a reason, because people should listen to him, and him being that tall gets him noticed. I know he's gonna do good things. I know he's gonna do big, big things.
I was born without legs. I was found on the side of the road and I was just 3 months old. I love how I am, so I love the fact that I don't have legs.
Obviously, I thought she was very attractive and very beautiful.
You know, when haters say things, it makes you more wanting to do things to take them off. That's me. Yeah, she's so cute. I don't know where I was born, but I was found on the side of the road in Thailand. This is the area where I was found. So right behind the sign right there. And I was only 3 months old. This is the people who found me. They heard a baby crying and they went to go check it out with their flashlights and they found me. And I was wrapped in a blanket naked. I was crying and I had a lot of like debris and like mosquito bites. That's when they had to call the police department to take me to the hospital. This is Mei Chan, my second mother, the nurse who raised me as her own. I was so popular in the hospital. These were all the nurses that took care of me. I was very, very fortunate to have loving people who I can call my second mom, my aunties, my uncles. They raised me as their own. They agreed to find an adopted family for me, but not a lot of people want to adopt kids that have a disability. It's a lot of work, to be honest. It took my adopted mom time and class and teaching to understand how to take care of me. When I came to America, I would talk to myself in Thai in front of a dishwasher reflection of myself because I have nobody else to talk to. She was the one that encouraged me to do things on my own and be an independent woman as I am today. Once I started speaking English, I started making more friends. I started skateboarding age 9. Being really free spirit and carefree and wild. So my daily life difference is using my hands. That's my difference instead of using legs. Since we don't know my birth parents, we don't know how I was born without legs, no medical reason. I just call myself no legs. Like, I just don't got legs. I'm a half woman. Like, for Halloween, I was like Wonder Woman. And I was like half Wonder Woman. And I love my life and where I am, and this is what I know, and like, especially living here in America gives me more opportunities, obviously. My first approach about modeling was when I was only 17 years old. I feel like there's a cool factor of me. It really did impact me in the long run. Look what I'm doing now. I just did the New York Fashion Runway in 2021. The modeling did lead to acting. Yeah, here's me as a burnt zombie. Yeah, that's me in makeup for The Walking Dead. I was in Hawaii Five-0. I was Rosie Valera, the wounded veteran, and I was in Code Black, playing someone who got hit by a car that ran into a market, and I lost my legs and I died. And I want to do more movies because I feel like they haven't seen someone without legs that's an actress in a movie, especially being Asian. That's really an important role for me too. Not just that, but I'm freaking capable and skater. Today, I'm gonna go skateboarding with my boyfriend and just like enjoying this free day.
Kanya's extreme sports side was definitely one of the many things that attracted me to her.
Yay, skating!
It's definitely the energy, the vibe. It's fun, it's engaging, you want to be part of it.
A lot of time, a lot of people look or stare at me because they're very fascinated about a woman with no legs skateboarding, and they probably think that's freaking awesome. So online, it can be so funny sometimes. A lot of people online really judge people, but they don't really know their lifestyle or their story. If you have nothing good to say, then don't say it. Living life well is the best revenge. Doing you is the best revenge, and ignoring the negative is the best revenge.
So my message for other people with disabilities is see what you love doing, what makes you happy, and be out there and be active as much as you can, just focusing on yourself.
I love the way I am, so I love the fact that I don't have legs. I mean, it got me here.